Hi guys, Swoley here and I'm back with another Resident Evil 2 tutorial. We've already defeated G1, now this time we're moving on to G2. If you haven't seen my G1 tutorial, I recommend watching it before taking on G2. Links in the description below. Now for this fight I'm going to take you through two different strats. One is the spark shot strat and two is the knife strat. Now with the knife strat there's two different variations depending on what attack G2 will do after jumping down onto the crane platform. Now if you're just starting out with speedrunning this game, I'd highly recommend starting with the spark shot strat. Once you've become comfortable with that strat, you can then move on to the knife strats. But no matter what strat you choose, the beginning of the fight is always the same up until the point that G2 smashes through the shutter. So let's begin with the lead up to the fight. Now we've just put the plugs into each hole and the door's opened. We're heading down the stairs into the generator room where we're going to do the puzzle to turn the power back on. Now on the way to the generator room is a green herb, so if you don't feel too confident with this fight yet, I suggest picking that up, just in case. Now when you get into the room, you want to run over to the back corner where the power puzzle is. If you didn't know the answer to this puzzle already, you need switches 1, 2 and 4 switch to green. After this, you'll see a quick cutscene which shows the power coming back on. Now after the cutscene ends, you want to turn around and run back towards the door that you came from, but if you can, leave your camera pointing at the puzzle. Eventually, you'll see a yellow cable that's draped across the floor, indicated by the red line on screen now. When you get to roughly this point, you want to turn around and throw a grenade back into the room. Now, you want to throw the grenade far enough so that it causes enough damage to G2 to trigger the next phase of the fight. Now if you look in the top right hand corner of the screen, you'll see a stats overlay. This is where you can see various enemies' health as well as other stats throughout the game. Other people use the SRT, which can be downloaded from various sources, but I prefer to use this whilst doing the tutorials. Now right at the bottom, in the green squares, are various enemies' health. The very right one is G2's health. After you've thrown the grenade, you want it to be 95% damage. It's that 5% which will trigger G2 to go into the next phase of the fight. Now if you've done that 5% damage, you'll hear G2 make a few growling noises and it will then jump down to the shutter, and you want to head over to this shutter. It's at this point you want to drop your image quality down enough to ensure that you're maintaining 120 FPS throughout this fight. Once you've dropped your image quality, you need to make sure that you've got the spark shot and the knife equipped. So now G2 is going to try and smash through the shutter and we'll crack on with the spark shot strat. Now with all three variations of this fight, you want to make sure that you're running through the shutter as G2 smashes through it. Once he smashed through, you want to follow the walkway round to the left, round to the right, and then round to the right again to head towards the crane platform. As you're running down the final straight of the platform, you're going to want to take note of the lines on the floor. As Claire gets to the very last line, as indicated on screen now, you want to aim your spark shot for about a second. Doing this is a consistent way to get G2 to attack at the very end of the platform before jumping down. Now it's this that gives you enough time to do the spark shot strat. Now when jumping down you might actually see G2 slashing at you, but don't worry, he won't hit you. When you've landed on the platform, you want to go to the end of the container and take a hard left towards the switch and hit that switch. Now whilst you're hitting the switch, hold S on your keypad to move backwards, and after the animation of hitting the switch is finished, press shift. This will cause Claire to do a quick turn directly backwards rather than off to an angle. After doing this quick turn, equip your weapon and aim back towards the platform that you've just jumped down from. G2 should be jumping down or close to doing so. Now once he's jumped down onto the crane platform, you want to aim as close to his shoulder eye as possible, as shown on the screen now. Once you've got your reticle into this position, fire off a spark shot needle and hold onto your aim button and wait for it to charge fully. Once it's charged fully, the needle's going to explode and that should cause enough damage for G2 to go down. Once he's gone down, you're going to want to run over to him, get into position shown on screen now, and slash your knife in the direction shown on screen. Doing this will mean that you should be able to slash across his eye and both of his heads. Now you'll hear when your slashing is correct, because it will sound like the knife's making sort of a vibrating noise as it passes through his body, and it will sound like you're hitting him a few times at once, which is what you want. It's at this point you're going to want to keep an eye on the damage being done, because you want to make sure that he's less than 50% health before running over and hitting the switch. If he's less than 50% health, being hit by the crane is going to finish him off, but anything 50 or above isn't. So once you've got under that magical 50, you're going to run back over to the button, hit it, and then try and head to the corner shown on screen now. Once you've got into this position, you want to turn around and look at G2 because he's going to run at you. Once he runs towards you, you want to run past him and get over to the other side of the platform. Now, drawing him into the position you're in should mean that there isn't enough time for G2 to get back across the platform before the crane comes and knocks him off. Once you've got to the other side of the platform, pick up the knife and the flashbang as I'm doing on screen now, and then wait for the crane to come and end G2. And that is the spark shot strat. Now we're going to move on to the next strat, which is slightly more difficult and more advanced. Now, as I said earlier, there are two different variations to this strat. There's the triple slash attack and the jump slash. First off, we're going to start with the triple slash. Now, do not forget, if you need to drop the image quality, do it at the beginning of the fight. Now, you want to run down the walkway as you did with the spark shot strat, but this time, when you get to the end, don't aim, just run straight for the end and jump off. If you've done this fast enough, G2 should jump straight down off the platform, and you should be able to see him do so as shown on the image now. Once he's jumped down, you want to run round to the button as you did with the first technique and hit the button. Now, I've paused it here because after hitting the button, you're going to want to do a quick turn again, and this is where we'll hear the audio cue, which will signify which attack G2 is doing. If you hear a little pathetic growl like you're about to now, this means he's going to do the triple slash attack. If you hear this growl, this is when you want to do another quick turn back towards the button and then run over and pick up the knife and the flashbang. After picking up the two sub-weapons, you want to turn around and look back towards G2. It's at this point you'll see him doing the last part of his triple slash attack where he's going to swing his arm down onto the floor and he won't move for a couple of seconds or so. It's at this point you want to run over to him, equip your knife and slash across his eye and into his head as shown with the arrow on screen now. So just to recap that and give you another chance to hear that little growl, we're going to go back to just before we hit the button. So I'll shut up now and this will give you a chance to listen to the growl. So once his arm's slammed down, as I said, you want to run over and get a knife slash in. Now you want this knife slash to be as juicy and damaging as possible, and hopefully it staggers him like I have in this video. Now when he goes down, again you want to get into position by his right shoulder and carry on slashing down and through the eye and the heads. Now with this attack, you want to keep slashing him until the knife breaks. Once it breaks, you want to run back over to the button and hit it. Now once you've pushed that button, you want to run back over to him and keep slashing him with the knife. It's at this point you want to look at his health and make sure that you do enough slashes to get him under that magical 50% health. Now once you've got him under 50%, you want to run over to the metal sheet on the floor in the image now, highlighted by the red arrow. Once you're in this position, you want to wait for G2 to charge at you. Now wait until he's very close to you or almost right beside you until you run back towards where he's come from. Now once you've run back to where he's come from, simply wait for the crane to knock him off and hopefully he's dead. So that's the triple slash attack done, and now we're going to move on to the jump slash scenario. Now once again, you're going to want to do everything in the build up that you did for the triple slash attack. So run to the end of the platform and jump straight down and you should see G2 follow you down. Now once you've run around the press that button, get ready to do the quick turn, and this is where the fight will differ. Once you've done the quick turn, you're going to hear G2 do a loud growl, and this is going to signify that he's doing the jump slash attack. Now if he does do this, you're not going to have time to pick up the two sub-weapons, so you want to quick turn back towards the button, and then quick turn back towards G2 and start slashing him with the knife immediately. Now, as described in the last scenario, if you can get that stagger, great. If not, you're going to want to try and stagger him as soon as possible. So let's just rewind a bit, and again I'll be quiet so that you can hear the difference in the audio cues. Right, so once you've got him onto the ground, you want to get into position by his right shoulder again and get Claire to slash the knife across his eyes and head. Now the difference with this fight is that once the knife breaks, you don't run over back towards the button. You want to equip the second knife and carry on slashing until he's under 50% health, and then you want to go and hit the button to bring the crane back. Now once you've got him under 50% health, you want to go hit the button, and then as you did on the triple slash attack, run over to the sheet on the floor indicated by the red arrow now. And then it's simply a case of waiting for him to get close to you or beside you before running back towards the platform. Now once you've got to the other side of the platform, don't forget to pick up both knife and the flashbang before the fight ends. And then that's it. Once the crane comes back, he should be defeated. And then you've done G2. Now as with G1 and all other boss fights, don't forget, as soon as the fight's finished, turn your image quality back up to 100% or your run will be invalid. And that's it, you defeated G2, you can go save Sherry and head down to the labs via the cable car. Now don't forget, I have done the other boss tutorials, linked to which you can find in the description below, and I also stream on Twitch 3 to 4 times a week, of which you can see my link in the description below. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop into my stream at any time and ask me, or leave a comment in the section below. Take it easy guys, see you in the next video.